let's get it.
Hello, hello. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome to this month's edition of OneDrive Office Hours. So I'm Rob Nunez, Product Market Manager for SharePoint and OneDrive. And as always, super excited for you to all be joining today's session with our team. We have some great topics and some cool updates to share with you all today. But before we get started, today's session, as with all sessions, will be recorded and available to watch. In case you missed anything on today's call, if you just want to revisit today's conversations, it'll all be available on our OneDrive Office Hours event page shortly after today's call. Now, before we get into today's updates and topics, I want to make sure that everyone marks their calendars for a big moment that we have coming up. And I'm excited to share that we're gearing up for our third annual OneDrive event on October 8th at 9 a.m. Pacific time for Copilot plus OneDrive. So if you had a chance to see last year's event, we introduced a major shift in how OneDrive is supporting your work and life. And this year, we're really looking to build on that momentum. And, OneDrive since then has become more than just your file storage solution. And it's really transformed into an intelligent companion that's there whenever you need it. So you might be asking us, what does this event entail? What's in it for me? Why should I be there? And our team is, super hard at work putting together an incredible showcase that's going to span across the latest AI features for OneDrive and, of course, including the newest Copilot capabilities and how you can best leverage them and get the most out of these features for your files and content. We have updates around all performance and product experiences and more news around sharing and enhancements for sharing and collaboration. And then we also have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at some exciting things that our team is working on that you'll get a first-class look only at the event on October 8th. So, we have a lot of content to share, and we're super excited for what we're going to be showcasing for the event. And just like our own office hours, there will be a live Q&A at the end with our product team. So you can ask questions around the event itself, or just like our OneDrive office hours, bring questions around OneDrive all up, and our team will be ready to answer those questions and engage with you directly. So, if you really want to see what's next for OneDrive, you do not want to miss this event. So you can register early at the link below at aka.ms/OneDrive event and tune in on October 8th at 9 a.m. And we're all looking forward to seeing you there. So stay tuned for more news as it comes through. But this is your early prompt to register today. So I'll pass it over to Stephen and we'll get the session started. Over to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, we are really excited about the October event. We hope to see you all there. For this month's office hours, we're going to start off with a quick look at our roadmap as we do every month, talk through some of the latest features that have come up, highlight a few things for you all. And then I'm going to turn it over to Lincoln DeMaris on our team, who's a principal PM architect. He's going to talk about our topic of the month, which is document libraries and how we are making those better. And then we'll finish things off, as always, with a Q&A. We'll start with questions for Lincoln, and then we'll open it up to the rest of the team who are on the call and eager to answer all of your questions. So let's take a look at the roadmap. We've got a couple of updates for you. I've got two features kind of highlighted I want to call out for all of you. First of all, for those of you who weren't able to make it last month, we had folks from the Windows team here with us. They talked about some of the amazing changes we're making in the File Explorer experience to bring shared files and modern files into the experience, making it really sing a lot of the same sorts of features you've seen on OneDrive Web, but now showing up in your File Explorer in Windows experience, which was super awesome. Another new feature that just moved over into kind of the shipping bucket this month in August is a new feature we call Discoverable by Company, which is a new sharing feature specifically for video files. It's off by default, has to be configured by your administrator, but once enabled, it makes it really easy to share videos and make them accessible to your entire organization all at once, kind of like the Stream Classic feature did if you happen to use that back in the day. There'll be more kind of showing up in your message center about this feature shortly. We're really excited about this one to make kind of your video sharing experiences just a little bit easier. And that is our update on the roadmap for this month. So with that out of the way, I'm going to turn it over to Lincoln to talk about document libraries, what's new and what's next. Take it away,
Awesome.
Lincoln.
Yes, thank you very much, Stephen. How's everybody doing? Very special office hours because we're going to spend the next 30 or so minutes immersing ourselves in one of my favorite things in the world, SharePoint document libraries. Do we have any document library fans in the house? Hit that applause button to give me some motivation. I'm going to literally hit the applause button myself. I'm going to minimize this window to kind of remove distractions. I guess I should probably share first. But the reason I'm saying I'm minimizing the window is because I won't be able to see hands. So Stephen, Rob, if there's something spicy, super interesting question you want me to interrupt my flow for, please just speak up and we'll handle that. So the first thing you'll notice here, if you've been a document library fan for a long time, the reason we're really here to talk about this with you is document libraries are getting a new look, and you are previewing that right now. It's what you're looking at. So let's kind of take a tour of what's going on here. First thing I like to do when I'm getting deep with a document library is just give myself room for activities here. So I hit this button. Great. Now I'm focused. First thing you notice here is this new enhanced breadcrumb in the upper left-hand corner. This allows you to create things in the location you're looking at. It also allows you to navigate not only between folders in the library, but between libraries in the same site. And so if you're frequently jumping between different libraries in your environment, you're going to like this feature. Next thing I'll orient you on is, hey, the create or upload, the big blue button to get started creating new things is migrated up here to the upper right, kind of adjacent to the global commands in the library. Another thing that we did, we actually did this a little while back across OneDrive and document libraries. If you don't know this is one of my favorite kind of new tricks of the last year. You can right click to bring up global commands, and you can use that to add files or folders, upload, create new in whatever location you're looking at. So it's kind of a cool trick. Pretty common paradigm across different sort of file sharing products. Right click to get started. Okay. Let's continue our tour. So front and center here, we've kind of brought what I consider to be the core value of document libraries, which is custom views. Sorry, I thought I heard a whisper. So we brought the custom views in your library front and center. Switch between views, create views right here. And you'll see I've customized this library with a few different custom columns, pieces of metadata to organize my documents. I've got an abstract, I've got a category, I specify the reading time for each document, and I've even added the ability to rate. And so views are just a way of slice and dicing the data in your library by the metadata for different looks for different scenarios. So one view that I created here is this board view. The board view is really great when you have a serial process in your library and you want to see how items are progressing through that serial process. And so you can see here I have card representations of all my files and swim lanes for all the different statuses in my status field. So if I want to customize how this looks, this is going to be a place that we go back to a few times in the demo. I call this the one-stop shopping place. It's this new options button. If you're ever thinking, oh boy, I want to do something with this view, but I don't know where to go, we've kind of created this consolidated entry point to manipulating your view and customizing how it looks and feels. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get into customizing the cards in this view. This, folks, is how you know it's real. I'm in a demo environment. Sometimes the demo environment gets a little bit of jitters. Great. So I've brought up my card designer, and this allows me to configure what pieces of metadata are shown on the different cards in my board view. And so, maybe I want to show the rating right here because it helps me evaluate the items. And maybe I want to show the thumbnail so I can get a quick peek of what the file looks like. Awesome. Happy with how this looks. And from here, I can, if I've reviewed a document and I want to advance its status, all I have to do is drag and drop. And so, hey, this is cool. If you have never played with board views, maybe you didn't even know this feature existed, we have this big, bold new Add View button here. And so if you want to get started playing with views in your library, hit this button, start with one of these options. It'll take you through it. Cool. Let's go back to the root of the library here, to my All Documents view, and continue our tour. So the next thing you'll notice right next to custom views is we brought these sort of familiar filter pills from OneDrive into document libraries. And so if you're used to kind of seeing these filters front and center when you use your OneDrive, same sort of options, very similar options, but tailored for document libraries, also front and center as you traverse your file system. So I can filter, I can look at Word files, PDFs, but filtering in a document library is not just file types. It's, of course, all of your custom metadata. So I can open up the filters pane here, and I can say, okay, maybe I want to filter. I want to only see reviewed and ready for publication items. Cool. I actually want to see everything, not just Word and PDF. And I don't want to filter. I just want to see educational and research documents. Cool. So I've created my view here. I'm actually going to remove these filters because I want a few more things to play with as we continue the demo. And you'll notice as I filter, we sort of represent, and even as I close this filters pane, we've improved the UI. We get a lot of feedback. Hey, my view is filtered, but I don't always know what it's filtered on. Why am I not seeing everything in my library? Are my files missing? Did somebody delete them? So we've kind of improved the clarity when you're looking at a library to let you know what it's filtering on. And so as I hover over these, I see, okay, cool. It's the status column. I'm looking at reviewed items, also status column, ready for publication. And so we sort of persist these up here. So anybody coming into the library is sort of reminded that the view is filtered down. You're looking at only a subset of the items. Cool. I'm going to go back to my one-stop shopping place here. We'll do a few more things. So you can customize the layout of your list here. You can go compact if you just want something really snug. List if you want something in the middle. Auto fit's nice here because it kind of allows the view to expand to show the full value inside of maybe text fields that have gotten a little bit longer. I'm actually going to go to list because this is cool. I want to see everything at once. Of course, you can also sort and group here. So I can click sort. I want to sort by reading time because I want to see quickest things to read first. I can also go and group. I want to group by category, just so I can bucket things by what category. Cool. So I've used the tools front and center in the document library experience. I've customized this view. I'm really loving how it looks. And so this is one of the kind of key flows that I want you all to walk away from this demo with. If you play around with the document library, if you've got content structure, you make it look the way that you think is really useful for yourself and for your teammates. Hey, I want people to really have their focus on reviewed, ready for publication data. I want them to see quickest to read first. You can save this really easily so that other people coming into the document library can kind of take advantage of all this curation that you've done for them. I'm going to bring your attention back over here to the view pill. And you see we've added this new affordance here. You can see clearly it says unsaved changes. And this lets you know, cool, you've done a lot of great work on your view, but it's not saved. Nobody's going to be able to see it until you save it. And so you can click here and you can save the view. And I'm going to just name this view reviewed and ready. I'm going to say make this a public view and I'm going to hit save. And this creates a new view pill that is available to anybody that comes into the library. So I can flip back to my sort of default view here, or I could go back and I can see this customized view that I've lovingly created for my team. Cool. Let's see what's next. Going back to the one-stop shopping place. This is also where you access grid view. So you can flip into that. This is the easiest way to go and make a bunch of changes to the metadata. Familiar if you're used to working a lot in lists. Same kind of fundamental experience here. I'm just going to go and mess around with my reading time values. That's the grid view. It's right here in this options menu. Cool. Another thing that we've kind of put front and center here, and this is not a new experience in document libraries. I'm actually going to go back to all documents just so I have everything to play with here, is the ability to format your view. And so format view allows you to configure conditional formatting to make items look different depending on what metadata values they have. So let's take a look at that. I'm going to say I want to do conditional formatting in my library. And I want to say, okay, I want to shine a light on things that are reviewed. I want to know quickly which things are reviewed. And I want to give it a nice kind of Easter egg purple color here. That's cool. So now I don't necessarily have to filter. I can just quickly see, oh, hey, I can scroll down the list and I can see purple items that have been reviewed. That's great. I can save that. And now it's a part of my view. Again, this is a feature that's been in the product for a little while. Maybe we have some people who are adept at it, but we brought it kind of front and center here in this options menu. Okay, cool. So at this point, we're just going to switch gears just a little bit here. Well, actually, no. Before we switch gears, I'm going to show you something really, really, really cool. This is my favorite feature of document libraries that not everybody knows about. So, I'm sure as you're watching this demo, you've been looking at these file names. You've noticed, oh, this is kind of clearly a demo library. This is a scattershot kind of set of content I just pulled together quickly to give you a demo. And I'm sure many of you are thinking, wow, like Lincoln was really diligent filling out all this metadata. He's typed in abstracts. He's provided categories. He's even specified reading time for all these documents. Like maybe you're thinking, wow, like he must have spent hours putting together this demo. Well, let me dispel that myth. I used column autofill to do all of this. So I actually did not specify one piece of metadata in this library. It's all auto-gen. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Start with going to this reading time column here. And if I go to column settings and edit, oh, that's interesting. Let's see if I can try that again. Maybe it won't have jitters. Look at that. Come on, SharePoint. I want to show them column autofill. It's really cool. There we go. Not sure what was going on there. So I have this column, reading time, and you see that I've turned on the autofill setting in this column. And I've typed just a little bit of text, describing how I want this column to be filled. Based on the length of this document, estimate the time to read in minutes, single words per minute, reading rate of 250 words per minute. And this is all I did. I turned on this setting. I uploaded my files, and it filled out all of this for me. It cracked open the document, figured out the word count, and gave me a reading time. And again, this is another feature that's been in the box for a little while. There is something new and special here that I'm gonna show you here. And we're gonna kind of show how this works. So I'm gonna go kind of haywire here, and I'm just gonna clear a bunch of the metadata in my library. I'm just going to get rid of a bunch of metadata. There we go. Just going to delete this. I'm going to clear the status. Boom. So I've kind of cleared this off. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to go up here to the toolbar. And I'm going to say autofill. And the thing that's new is that we have this cool autofill activity panel. So if you're using autofill in your library, and you sort of, it's been mystifying to you, hey, where are things at? Why do I not have things filled out? What's taking so long? What's the processing order? Which ones are done? Which ones aren't? We have this sort of status UI. It's fairly new. That'll let you know what it's working on processing. And you can watch it with bated breath, wait for it to complete. And you can see it's going to restore all of that metadata that I had before I went into grid view and cleared it all away. Let's see if it will bravely complete the process here. Well, no worries, because we don't have to watch it. It goes on in the background. So we'll just close this and let it do its thing. Cool. All right. Switching gears. Hypothetical scenario. Did I hear something? This would actually be a fine time for a question or two if folks are hungry.
Yeah, I'll pull a couple questions from the chat for you, Lincoln. So the first question I saw, if you go back to the kind of filters and options, is there ability to filter to kind of broader categories like videos or images versus specific file types? Are
you referring to, feel free to go off mute, whoever asked that. are you referring to content types?
So yeah, we've seen content types like Office documents. We'd love to be able to filter on video and images as either .png, .mp4, or I like the idea of the generic it's an image or it's a video.
Yeah, this will match the file extensions that you have in your current view. Yes, it will. Yeah, it's just so happened that I've been very document centric in my demo environment, but this will grow to include file extensions like PNGs, JPEGs, videos, whatever you have. If you're using content types, when you said video, image, it brought content types to my head. Those are filterable as well.
Can they be set as a default filter versus something you have to set up? Like it looks like you have a default filter for Word.
Yes. In fact, I will just do that right now. Oh, you mean when you say default filter, you mean showing up right here front and center?
Yes, like that.
I don't think we let you do that right now, but that's interesting feedback. We'll take that back to the team.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah. Cool.
Next set of questions, lots of interest in autofill, and then ask for documentation, licensing, how that works. If there's a link we have, we can drop. That would also work too, Lincoln.
Drop the link. There's plenty of documentation out there. Like I said, this is one of the coolest features that not everybody knows exists. If there's a lot of interest, maybe we could bring the sort of singular owner or the best expert for a future session. But yeah, lots of documentation out there. Thanks for dropping the link, Stephen.
I haven't dropped it yet, but if you have it, I would be happy to. Or we can drop it after the fact.
I will do it after I'm done demoing.
Perfect.
Once I'm done demoing, I'll come back to the chat and just immerse myself in the amazing stuff that's going on there. Cool. Okay. Switching gears just slightly. Hypothetical scenario, who's created a document library they love and they get frustrated because their team won't put their stuff in the document library, right? Like if you build it, they don't always come. You really got to make it easy for people to add their stuff. And so for that scenario, we have brought this new feature here. If you are a Microsoft List user, this is a familiar feature to you, which is our Forms feature. We're bringing the Forms feature from Lists to document libraries this fall. And so if you're new to Forms, I'll give a quick kind of explanation of what it's all about. Forms is a way for you to create a form that you can send to your team that they can use to submit documents to the library if you're choosing. And so we're going to do that right here. We're going to add some documents. So the first thing that Forms and document libraries ask you to do is create a new folder for the responses. All the responses to a form go into their own folder. So I'm just going to create this folder here real quick. And this is the form designer experience. This is how I design the experience that people will get when they open my form link and lay out kind of the options that they have to fill out in order to submit something to this library. And so, I'm just going to go and kind of customize this. I'm gonna add a logo here, give it a great picture of me so people feel motivated. And, you'll see that, my favorite feature up here, because I'm always wondering how is it going to look for other people. I use this preview button and you can see, well, hey, it's just asking people to fill out all the metadata in the library. And you can customize that. So I'm going to say, well, I have column autofill work for me. I don't want to make people, I can maybe take all of these away. I don't want people to be bothered with metadata because the big brain in the sky is going to fill that out for them. I can move things around. If I do actually want people to do work, fill out their own values, don't rely on the cloud to do it for them, I can add those fields back. You can configure branch. And so depending on what they put for status, or maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll say category, because that's a little bit more reasonable, depending on the category they show. Maybe go back here. Maybe you want to say, hey, if it's a marketing doc, I want you to specify the reading time. Maybe for this one, I do too. Maybe for these, you go straight, you don't need to specify a reading time for these. And then that branching will work if you're a user of Microsoft Forms. The values fill out here, they'll skip to the appropriate column just the way that you kind of expect. But yeah, like I said, given that we have column autofill, I'm just going to remove these. I want to make, this is cool. It's letting me know that I'm using these in branching. It's very helpful. I'm just going to create a really nice, clean form for my team. I'm going to put on my favorite setting. Notify me. I send out a form to people. I love to get that sort of dopamine hit in my inbox, letting me know that people are filling the thing out. Get a little bit of a theme here. I mentioned Easter egg purple before. I'm going to bring that back to this form. Cool. And so I've created like a dead simple form that people can use to add stuff to my library. I can again hit my favorite button here just to make sure it's looking all good. Love it. Yep, Arvind. That's my name. Cool. At this point, I can grab a link to this form, and we're gonna just simulate this. So cool. You see, it's created my form responses folder, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use this, and I'm just gonna add a couple files. I pasted in that link into a new tab here, and I'll just drag and drop a couple of files from my computer. Oh, you can only upload one. Yeah. So we'll just do it twice. I think that's something we're still working on. I'm going to submit one file. I'm going to submit another file over here. Cool. All right. So that was me from the position of somebody on my team, sending files to me. Now I'm going to come back, and I'm going to take a look at these files that were submitted. And so, sometimes you can get people to add files to a document library, but, maybe they don't always name the files something super great. And so, wow, hey, I've gotten a couple of submissions for my form, but this is not super helpful. 1 and 2. What am I supposed to do with 1 and 2? Well, if you had Copilot on your bingo card for this office hours, get those dabber pens ready, because we're about to explore the wonderful world of Copilot. So how can Copilot help me make sense of what's going on? Well, my favorite Copilot feature, and I suppose I'll just kind of make the announcement here. So if you've been using Copilot in OneDrive, we're bringing the same set of foundational file skills from OneDrive into all SharePoint document libraries. And so my favorite Copilot feature when I'm in a library where there's a lot of chaos and I don't know what's going on is this compare files. And so my teammate has submitted document 1, document 2. I want to kind of understand what's going on with these files and quickly get a breakdown. What's the difference between them? Did they really mean to submit both of these files? So I'm going to start with compare files here. So it's going to reticulate splines a little bit. It's going to drink in the contents of those two files, and it's going to break down, okay, what's the difference between these two files? And I can see, oh, wow. What we're doing is, it seems like this is a document about warehouse planning and safety. And clearly, well, 1.docs has 4 practices and 2.doc has 5 practices. So it actually looks like my teammate submitted an older revision and a newer revision. And so it looks like 2 is kind of where the action is. Cool. So if you ever need to understand what's the difference between a couple of different files, compare files is a great way to get started with that. Cool. So awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this old one because it's like, well, that just looked like an older revision. And I'm going to focus on 2. I need to learn all about the contents of this file. I'm really busy. I don't really want to read it. So my next favorite Copilot feature is I can create an audio overview of this thing. And so audio overview gives me a great kind of audio-based educational lesson of what's in the file. And so it's going to work on this for a little while, generating me kind of an audio overview of what's in it. But I'm going to let that spin. I'm going to keep working here. I'm going to go back to my Copilot button, and I'm just going to start asking some questions. I want to understand warehouse safety a little bit. Oh, by the way, sidebar. It looks like my column autofill is completed. So I have, great. It's giving me a little bit of an abstract, general information. Hey, it says reading time is 6 minutes. I'm still too lazy for that. My audio overview is finished. But I'm going to come over here and ask some questions. And I'm like, well, what's the most dangerous thing in a warehouse? It's like pretty much like just forklifts, right? Again, I want Copilot to educate what's going on with warehouse safety. So I could just kind of ask it anything and everything that I want about this. Okay. It's very nice to me. It's just, reassuring me. Yes, forklifts are a hazard, but there's a whole bunch of other things that you should look out. Forklifts, cranes, hoists. Wow, hoists. That's a word I haven't said in a while. So cool. I'm actually going to also get Copilot to help me fill out the metadata. It's like, give me a 1-sentence punchy abstract that I can use to hook my team and get them to read this critical information. All right. Copilot is great at composing text. Let's see if it gives me a 1-sentence. Oh, yeah. 1 sentence. Oof, from forklifts to data flow. That actually gives me chills. I'm going to go just pop back into grid mode. I'm going to take this autofill abstract. Just much better. It's got the MDAS, so you know it's real. Cool. So awesome. You watched me use forms to help get documents into my library. You watched me use Copilot to help understand it and keep the metadata up to date, fresh, and interesting for people. So really cool stuff. Document libraries, Copilot, really a killer match. I'm going to do just one more thing here. Right. I am going to just exit grid view here real quick. So this document here is in a folder. It's in this form responses folder. One thing that we will be doing very soon, by the time you play with it, is just the ability to drag and drop in the breadcrumb to move it back to the parent folder. Really awesome convenience feature we're going to bring to you. But for now, I have created a quick action, a quick step to move to root. So I'm just going to use that quick step to execute. It's going to just, boom, move that back to the root. If you want to get started with quick steps, that is another feature that's in the product. You can access it under this automate functionality, automate button in the global command bar. Cool. So I have moved this thing back to the root. So now it's kind of hanging out with all of my other documents. I can view it in the process swim lane, take action on it here. And I can say, hey, I reviewed it. Thanks to Copilot. So now it's in the reviewed column. People know it's high quality data. They can go and check it out. All right. Well, that was just a bunch of stuff that I showed you. So I'm going to stop sharing my window. And Stephen or Rob, you want to go back to the deck here real quick? You have it up?
Yeah, I'm going to get that back up there for you.
And we'll go through just a quick couple of slides. Cool. So just a quick recap of, wow, Teams is popping something up in my face. There we go. Great. Just a few recap of some of the things I showed you and what's coming in the months ahead. And so this document library user experience update that I showed you, kind of the new layout, look and feel, aligned with Gen 3 OneDrive, that enhanced breadcrumb to help you navigate, views and filters taking center stage, that one-stop shopping place to help you manipulate your view and customize what's going on. That is, you can see the roadmap ID there, and we think rollout is going to begin in November of this year. But Stephen, remind me, when we sent out this office hours promo invite, we said something about feedback something? Help me, Steve. Am I hallucinating? We said something about a feedback contest. No?
Not that I'm remembering, Lincoln, but maybe I am forgetting things.
I am manifesting some alternate reality, which is, what I do best. And so let's talk about the reality that I've manifested. Steve Lynn says, every time Lincoln says Stephen, I jump. Every time someone says LinkedIn, I jump. And so I see you, I hear you. This is why I keep chat minimized when I'm doing a demo. Otherwise, I would constantly be saying weird stuff. I am asking all of you for help to help us preview this new document library experience. Like if you use document libraries to run your business, you know how critical it is that they work reliably. The people are able to, access all sorts of esoteric functionality. Like what I showed you was really just the surface. There's so much more under the covers, and we are doing our best to ensure that this is going to be rock solid, reliable, high quality when it goes out the door in November. But we love it when we get people to help us evaluate whether we got it all right, whether there's things that we need to adjust to make it work for you and your users. And so we are going to open this up to a preview. And you all are all the first folks invited to this preview. And so if you are interested in evaluating this experience before it goes live to everybody in November, you can scan this QR code and fill out a quick little Microsoft form that I created, and we will stay in touch. And so the form will ask you if you want to enable this for a select handful of users, or if you want to enable it in a demo tenancy, which is actually what we recommend, or a test tenancy. A lot of folks have test tenancies where they go and play around. We think that it's going to be best in that sort of sandbox at first. So if you are interested in playing with this in October before it goes to everybody, fill out this form, let me know, and I will stay in touch. Okay. Couple more things. Document library forms. We're really excited to see what you all do with forms in document libraries. The rollout for this, you can see the roadmap ID 489834. We think that's currently slated to start rolling out next month, late September. And Copilot file skills and documents. So you saw me generate an audio overview. So you saw me compare files, ask a question. All that stuff is coming next month. And you can see the roadmap ID for that as well. Cool. Well, folks, thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. At this point, I think we can open it up to Q&A.
Yeah. While people are getting their hands up, Lincoln, that was just a masterclass of demoing and features. Thank you for taking us all through that. And I think we'll start with questions just for Lincoln, and then we'll broaden it up as usual to kind of any OneDrive question you might have. Joshua, I see you've got your hand up first.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing some of the SharePoint goodness in this call. We have a need to be able to upload files from external partners, whether that is someone sending us a commercial or a viewer sending us like weather videos. With that, we do need to, have them answer some questions and provide them some information to approve that upload. Can we do this as an anonymous or external user with the new Forms feature?
Not in September. That's something we're working on, but we don't have right now. And so, do you use Forms in Microsoft Lists by any chance?
I also believe they have the same issue.
That's right. It's the same. It's the same capability, really. And so that we won't have that functionality in September. We don't have an ETA for it, but I love that you asked that, because hearing the same thing over and over again kind of feels good and reinforces that is a very common piece of feedback. And so that is something that we're looking closely at, but I don't have a date for you.
It would definitely help us standardize on Microsoft and get us off other Forms platforms that we're currently using. So thanks.
Yeah, love to hear that. Yeah, thanks for the question.
The other thing I'll mention, Joshua, is the request files feature is available for SharePoint sites now as well. It doesn't get you all of the other Forms goodness, but if you're just looking for external file upload, that might be an option you can explore.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't give us enough place to put like a legal notice or get certain questions beyond just the name. So.
Let's see. There's a question in the chat from Felon Manuel asking, is the new item command the same as the old one, or are there changes to that feature button?
It's the same as the one that you have today. We didn't add stuff to it. It's the same set of options under it.
Perfect.
Good question.
Josh, you're up next.
Hey, quick question. I put it in the chat. I'm not sure if y'all have seen it. I'm working on building a Copilot agent. I know this is kind of getting deep, but the folder you were demonstrating where somebody could submit something to, could you point a Copilot agent to that folder to grab it and do analysis on the file with the agent I'm building? Or can you discuss anything along those lines?
Okay, I'm really sorry. I got distracted by Steve's comment that I was hiding behind name text, and I got like kind of crazy there. I'm like sitting up, arrow straight now. I'm really sorry. Could you please repeat that question?
Yes, no problem.
This is
no
why
problem.
I hide chat.
The feature that's coming where you showed that we could submit something to a folder. So it's
Yes.
going to be there temporarily. And then you showed you had the new feature built where you can move it back to root. But could you set up a Copilot agent so that once files get submitted to that folder, analysis could be done on those files, if that makes sense?
Yes. You can configure, and this is great. You know, I only scratched the surface. There's so much more. Yes, you can create an agent. You can ground it on a folder. So you could pick that folder where all your form responses are going, and then that agent would be updated on its grounding as people submit files. And so yes, you can do that.
Great, thanks.
Now,
I'm working on it right now, so it's still in development, but that gave me an idea. Hey, I could use that, and then, like you said, move it later to the root folder.
Absolutely. Yeah, give it a try. Let us know.
Let's see, there's another question in chat. Are there any more general changes to content types and templates?
There are no changes to content types and templates as part of this package of changes. And actually, I'm not aware of any big changes coming to either of those things anywhere. I'd love to hear what you're interested in. I'd love to hear what we can do better for you, but no changes planned there. I'm looking at chat. I'm getting distracted. Hans asked a question I really like. Is there a reason why you should move the new item to the right? Yeah, we spent a lot of time thinking about how we can have our cake and eat it too here. How we can keep all of the powerful functionality in the document library there front and center. And there's just so much that we need to pack onto the screen. We wanted to bring that consistency to document libraries from OneDrive and kind of institute these view and filter pills here front and center to help people navigate their content. We wanted to keep this breadcrumb kind of front and center here, and keeping in mind, like, hey, there's a bunch of customizable SharePoint Chrome that document libraries live, and I hid that for my demo. But everything here, the left nav, the header, this is all wildly customizable and super important. And so, when you think about how do you tessellate all of that incredible functionality and power into a 2D rectangle, there's certain things that sometimes you just have to make trade-offs. And we're betting that putting create or upload over here is gonna overall make people more productive, given all these other changes we've made to bring other functionality front and center. When we roll this out, we're going to look real closely at the data here and make sure that people aren't getting tripped up. Make sure that people are still able to add their files and folders. We've got the entry point here. We've got the entry point here. We've got it in a right click. We're confident, but we're going to be super data driven and feedback driven. And so, Hans, I love that you asked that question. And so the answer is complex. Hopefully that kind of explains it.
The good thing is that you can also, let's say, people are doing something in OneDrive, and there's on the left side, and now it's on the right side. If they do not find it, then they are seeing, oh, we are on the SharePoint side, on a SharePoint library. So that's a different, I can also say.
That's almost a feature, but good observations. I see someone mentioning details pane. We still got that here. No big changes. That's still over here.
Lincoln, I don't know if you're the expert for this one. Any changes around the delete all versions command?
No changes to that. Yeah, no changes to delete all versions. As usual, I'm curious to hear what you might want or expect. I see someone in the chat say editing grid view option is buried. We agree. Critical piece of functionality. So it's going to live here, and we're going to put it, this is actively under development, right? We're going to put it Right back here in this. So it's going to be in both places. It's going to be in the place where it is today, where you expect it to be in this global command bar. It's also going to be in this kind of one-stop shopping place for editing everything to do with the view. So there's going to be two ways to enter grid. We love the grid. Thanks for that question.
Awesome. All right, we've got about 13 minutes left. Let's open up. If you've got questions, not just for Lincoln, but for everyone else, feel free to throw your hand up. In the meantime, while people are thinking about that, Lincoln, did you want to grab the autofill documentation and drop the link for that in the chat?
Yeah. I'll hunt for that.
Hard to hunt for things while also answering questions and getting distracted by Steve in the chat. So, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We've got folks from the sync team here, sharing team, mobile team. Any questions for the broader OneDrive product group? Yeah, Brian.
Hello. So just to give a quick little background, I'm not an admin per se or anything like that, but so I write a forensics tool for OneDrive, the sync client, and I'll actually drop a picture in chat. I came across, it's OneDrive.app.exe. It looks like a WebView client. So when you run it, you can only log in with a personal account right now. But I was just curious if that's tied to some feature coming up, or if the sync client is getting replaced with that in the future, or if there's if anybody knows any information on it.
Carter, I'm gonna look at your picture.
Saying that your typical question, so.
Yeah, I was going to fall back to Gaia to see. I know that we have been making some improvements here, and so but Gaia, I don't know if you want to talk to it.
Yeah, no plans to replace anything. Stay tuned for more details on what's coming. But yeah, nothing to share so far.
Okay.
But yeah, no plans to replace the sync client.
Josh, did you want to ask your question around file upload verbally, or did you want to keep it to chat?
Yeah, sure. So recently we had some questions on large file uploads. And of course, these always start with trying to use another product. So I wanted to better understand if we're doing very large uploads, greater than 100 gigs, up to the max. Are there recommendations for what size works well in the browser? What size to avoid in the browser? Is the recommendation for large files always to use the OneDrive client? Are there differences between Mac and Windows as to what is most efficiently handled? So what would you recommend?
Vishal, do you have any thoughts on that one? Or Liz, I just saw you come off mute as well.
Well, Vishal, if you have thoughts, I will let you go first.
I don't, Liz. I would have to probably come back on that one.
Yeah, I think I was going to say something similar where we've published some limitations, and Joshua, I see you referenced some of them in the chat. I think in general, our recommendation would probably be to go through the sync client, but we don't have published recommendations for what works best versus what our actual limits are. So yeah, let's follow up specifically on your scenario offline, if that's
right. I think there's a number of scenarios where the client is not going to be an option, especially if we're trying to transfer like large paid advertising, 30-minute files or something like that from our outside. All right, thanks.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think learning more about that scenario and then coming up with a recommendation together would be great. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to chime in. It's really good. In the past, customers have developed something with APIs and things like that for a recurring job or something like that. Again, not talking migration, but just transfer of these files to the service. We publish those documentation, but as Liz said, we want to understand the use case a little bit deeper before we make any recommendation one way or other.
All right, Nikolai, you've got your hand up.
Hey guys, yeah, I saw Arwa's chat message just a moment ago, and since I've been the person maybe that was asking about this the most in almost every meeting, Arwa, this will be very useful for us actually, and I'm very glad to see it. What's an ICM and how do we open it to participate in this?
Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. And ICM is basically going through support to ask for an exception and for a special case there. And they should know how to handle the case. And if not, just reach out to me. And if you want more details on how to start one, I'm sure we can follow up in chat with a link on that.
Oh, no, that's all right. Thank you very much. I'll contact our CSM and you, and so we can get this started. Very happy about it. Thank you very much again.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take silence. Maybe we're out of questions for today. So, oh, never mind. Joshua, you got your hand up just in time. What you got?
I think I saw next month we're talking about archiving. Is that individual file archiving? So I can archive a set of files or folders to cold storage, not just at the site level or the entire OneDrive level?
Let me see. Do we have Trent on the call today? I do not see him. I think. Who else know? Guy, are you familiar enough with the archive stuff to know broadly what Trent's hoping to cover next month?
I can take it. Oh, sorry, Guy.
Oh, go ahead, Liz. Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to say, yes, that is what we'll be talking about. I know the M365 archive currently is in private preview. So if you're part of that, I think Trent will share more about our plans for that, and then plans for a public preview and going to production.
Okay,
yeah, it's like a file level archive.
I believe, yeah, he'll talk about M365 archive more broadly, and then talk about also file level archive, which is the thing Liz mentioned is in private preview.
That's exciting news.
But yeah, thank you, Joshua, for that perfect lead in. Next month, we're going to have Trent back with us. Some of you may remember him from, I believe, our January office hours this year, where he talked about unlicensed users. And he'll be coming to talk about Microsoft 365 Archive, because you folks keep asking us questions about it, and we thought there's enough content there to make a nice 30, 45-minute office hours out of it. Rob just dropped a bunch of the links in the chat as well. And with that, I think we'll end a couple minutes early this month. Thank you all for joining again. Thank you, Lincoln, for walking through all of the amazing new document library content.
My pleasure.
Yeah. If you want to relive the demo and the glory, this will be available on YouTube on the Community Learning channel. So make sure you check that out after the fact. And thank you all for joining once again.